Welcome to the American Business Podcast. This is Kevin Deveji, your host. I'm welcoming you, episode 78, and we are in season 3. We have a special guest today, and we'll talk about career experience as well as career journey and other professional insights with our guests. Let's invite our guests and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Sophie.
Hi,
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much. How is your week going so far?
Yeah, it's very good. The weather's lovely, so I'm just working outside this week and catching up on a few things, and got a lot of exciting projects on the go. So yeah, it's great. How's your week?
Yeah, so far so good. Well, today's Friday, and Fridays are good in general, and especially that's our podcast day mostly. So I'm happy to have a Friday. Well, that sounds good. Why don't we get started? As a start, would you please briefly introduce yourself and your company to our audience and to our listeners?
Yes, of course. So I am a freedom and business coach. I work with a lot of new and aspiring entrepreneurs, mostly in the healthcare, medical, biotech sectors. But I also work in all areas of entrepreneurship because I find that a lot of the principles that I teach are applicable in other areas too. So I get into marketing, branding, messaging, networking, sales, negotiations, basically all the business skills and the business acumen that people need to launch a business, get a business off the ground, and feel confident running the business. I tend to work more with highly intuitive people who feel like they've got more to contribute in the world than what their full-time employment allows them to do. So a lot of scientists and healthcare professionals and academics in particular, and some journalists as well. So yeah, a lot of creative people, a lot of high science people who want to start a business and don't really know how to do that. So
Yes, starting a business is always challenging. So that's a great service. Why did you choose a lifestyle business over a traditional corporation?
yeah, that's a good question. I think when you're ambitious and you really want to build something meaningful and make an impact, the first place people tend to go is how can I make things as big as possible? How can I build out my team and get support and delegate things and have this mission that everybody's on and build a sense of community and a culture? And I think that's great to a certain extent, but when I did that, I was not happy. I was not fulfilled at all. And it started to feel like my work was not as meaningful because I found myself doing a lot of menial things like training my team members and fixing their mistakes and having to host all kinds of meetings just to kick off projects and oversee everything and make contracts and agreements. And my role kind of became more, I was just going through the motions and I wasn't really doing the things that I really love to do. And I thought that if I had a team, I could act as a CEO and I could just keep things running smoothly and be the one who comes up with the ideas and makes the decisions and kind of just keeps things running smoothly. But it just ended up, I became a manager, a project manager, a salesperson, admin, and all of those things. So I actually found that having a team was not a good fit for me. So what I did was I flipped everything around and I decided to build a lifestyle business. So for me, that was more fulfilling because it allowed me to focus on the things that I love to do, which in my case is business coaching, working with new entrepreneurs, helping them get ideas off the ground. And that's really exciting to me. And I still have some admin support. I have a bookkeeper, I have an accountant, I have people supporting me, but I get to spend a lot more time doing the things that I love to do that actually move the needle in my business, and it's more enjoyable. So when I realized that having a lifestyle business was a legitimate thing to do, I actually just turned everything around and decided to go in a different direction. And so now when I'm working with my individual clients, I'm showing them what it's like to have a lifestyle business and enjoy the freedom that they've created for themselves, and essentially acting as a role model for them so that they can do what I've been able to do. And that feels better to me because I can work smarter, not harder, and enjoy the fruits of my labor, so to speak.
Well, how do you personally define success in business and why?
Well, I think it comes down to a few different things. And I would say that because these are my core values as an individual. So one of them is freedom. I always want to quantify, can I work wherever I want? Can I travel whenever I want? Can I have creative freedom over the projects that I'm taking on and the direction that my business is going in? So that's one area, is freedom. And then flexibility is also really important. So can I set my own schedule? Can I choose my own hours? Can I choose who I want to work with, when I want to work with them, what kinds of projects I want to be doing, what kinds of people I want to be working with? I think also another big one is autonomy and just being able to eliminate the people or the things that don't feel aligned for me, and to form partnerships with people who I genuinely believe are going to benefit me and where I believe I can benefit them, rather than just what makes sense on paper. And then I think also integrity and authenticity are really important to me. So I would define success as being able to live in accordance with my values and express myself openly in relation to what my clients want to hear, what they want to learn, and what they want to do, and not have to feel like I have to filter my words or I have to alter my perspective or my views to suit what other people want me to have. So that's how I would define success in business.
So, based on your observation and experience, how is it nowadays? Do you see more professionals would like to start their own business nowadays? How is your observation on that?
Yeah. I actually was just in a place recently, and they had the news on, and it was showing that more and more people are wanting to starting businesses than ever before. And I think since the pandemic, people have gotten a taste of what it's like to work remotely or what it's like to work from home, and they realize that that's possible now. I mean, I was doing it long before that happened, but I think sometimes things need to be shaken up a little bit for people to see that there's a different way of doing things. So there's a lot of bigger organizations are really off and wanting to simplify and cut costs and not for themselves. They can make more money, they can have more freedom, they can have the kind of lifestyle that they've always wanted. So there was a study that was done this year by Gallup, who said that 62% of adults in America would actually prefer to be their own boss. But that doesn't necessarily translate into how many are actually doing it. But there was another study done in May 2025 by Shopify, who said that there were 447,000 new applications for businesses in America in the time frame that they were looking at. So it is showing an upwards trend in people who are not only saying that they want to have a business, but they're actually putting in applications to launch businesses. And so it's not just an aspirational thing, it's something that is gaining more and more momentum. And we are seeing an upward trend in all of those areas at the moment.
Absolutely, entrepreneurship definitely exciting and
Yeah.
getting more popular as well, based on my personal observation. Let's talk about one of the popular subjects in our podcast. It is AI, artificial intelligence. And how do you see AI in general? Is it a threat for entrepreneurs, or is it an opportunity? How would you look at it from your professional point of view?
That's a good question. I know a lot of people who have been in entrepreneurship for a while saw AI coming in and were worried that it was going to be a threat because companies started to turn to it for more and more of their operations and marketing and things like that. So people definitely are aware of that now, and they're starting to realize that they need to pivot in terms of how they operate their own business and how they offer services to businesses who are interested in AI and want to become more efficient and integrate AI into their business models. So it does require a level of understanding as to how these tools actually work and how they're evolving, because they are constantly evolving. New things are coming into play every day. I mean, even something as simple and foundational as ChatGPT has come so far since it was released just a year or two ago to the public. And so we really have to keep abreast of all of these changes. And so I think there's a few main areas where we can see AI as a huge opportunity to someone who's just about to start a business or wants to start a business. I think one of the areas is cutting costs. So it's a lot less expensive when you can use AI to help you automate certain things that you would have had to do manually or that you would have to pay a team member to do. So once you can learn about its capabilities and how it can help you rather than hinder you, and retain the quality of the output that you need to have, but not just detract from that, that's a really big opportunity. So there's the cutting cost side of it. And then also I think that you can grow quicker when you know how to leverage these tools. So you can test things quickly, you can pivot quickly, you can scale quickly. You can use it to analyze things from different angles, look at data sets, look at metrics, help you think of things that you may not have thought of, or that it would have taken you a long time to get to that place. So the speed of growth is another area. And then the third area I would say is that it can open new markets that you might not have thought you could reach. So you can personalize your outreach to different types of organizations who you might want to partner with. You can use it to network more effectively, to research people that you want to form partnerships with and connect with them. And it allows you to have more of a global reach with your company as well, because people are embracing this technology. So I think it's a great opportunity. I think it can be a threat depending on the specific industry that you're in, but I think it's well worth embracing it and incorporating it as much as we can, because it's not going anywhere.
Yes, I agree with your assessment. Especially, it depends on the industry, right?
Yeah.
And I was as a factory tour yesterday in New York metro area. The company is in a defense industry, and this AI conversation came up in the discussions at the end of the presentation. And from manufacturing defense industry point of view, they don't want AI not even close to their organization, right? For security reasons and nation security and so on, cyber security especially. So they
Yeah.
are afraid of getting it out of control. So they are saying it's not for them, at least right now, for instance.
Yeah.
But for other businesses that we are engaged with, yes, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, there are also a lot of big companies who are building their own AI tools internally so that it's only using the data that they're giving it, and it doesn't look outside of that, or it doesn't leak it to people outside of the organization. So I think people are finding workarounds to these things. Realize the potential. I think there are, as long as you're hiring them. But you're right, there are going to be some organizations that just say, I don't want to touch it, I don't want to go anywhere near it. So you just have to figure things out for your own specific industry and see where you fit into all of that.
I'm a co-host of another podcast called Two Guys All Things Tech, and I have a co-host Antonio Lucidi, and we talk about AI all the time. We debate actually, and during these debates, one of our subjects that we really focus on is whether or not regulating AI and how to manage the developments moving forward because of AI, with AI, and so on. Do you have any take on regulating AI?
You know, I don't work in the legislation area myself, so I can't comment on it too much, but I can say that it's becoming more and more difficult to keep things protected and keep things confidential, because even when people are not supposed to be using it for things that are confidential, they still are. So I feel like we do live in an age where everything is becoming available online, and it is becoming harder and harder to protect that integrity or protect secrecy or confidential information. But like I said, there are people who specialize in that area. So I think that if the right partnerships are formed, you can always find a way to achieve what you want to within reason. And so that may be where developing your own software would be most beneficial, because that's the only way you can fully control what actually happens to it and what it can do.
True. Well, let's look at your success, if that's okay. Can you share top three things or elements that actually made an impact on your success? What will be those three things?
So the first thing I would say is that I was a work addict for a very long time, and I would use work to define my worth and my value as a person. So anytime I had a spare second, I was working on my phone, on my tablet, on my computer, anywhere. I would find a way, and I couldn't actually relax. I couldn't actually stop thinking about work, because if I did, it was like the whole world was crumbling down around me. I didn't know who I was if I wasn't working. So overcoming that and treating it as an addiction and recognizing that that is not healthy and that is not sustainable for anyone, that's not going to benefit anyone in the long run, especially me, that has been a huge part of it. Because as soon as you get into these burnout cycles, it's kind of self-perpetuating. It will just keep going until you decide that you don't want to live that way anymore. So that has been a huge one. And then I guess as a tangent to that, kind of recognizing that I don't have unlimited energy, that I am only human, and that it's about thinking smarter, not like working smarter, not harder, essentially, and just maximizing the productivity when you are working, but carving out plenty of time for reflection and creativity, and kind of questioning whether or not you even want to do that big project, or if you even enjoy what you're doing anymore, or if you even want to keep that client. You got to make space for making those kinds of big decisions about the direction you want your business to go in, and whether you actually feel aligned with your efforts or not, and also whether you're getting the results that you want, because we have to take that time to really reflect on, is it working, or are we just spinning our wheels and not actually moving anywhere? So those have been big for me. And then I would say the third thing would be overcoming imposter syndrome. I know this comes up a lot with executives in business as well, and CEOs and people who run small businesses. They don't feel like they are good enough to be in the position that they're in. There's a lot of pressure to make important decisions all the time and get things done and keep things moving and get it right and turn a profit and all of these things. And so I think that, learning how to build confidence as an entrepreneur, as a leader, and to genuinely feel that, but also to know that nobody gets it right 100% of the time. You can still make mistakes. You can still mess up sometimes. You can get advice. You can get support. Done is better than perfect as well. So coaching has been really helpful for me. I always have a coach myself while I'm coaching other people, because I always want to be growing. I always want to be imparting that new knowledge and, keeping up to date with all the latest technology and things like that, to make my life easier, to make my business more successful. But I belong, I'm supposed to be doing what I do as I do it. So kind of getting that strong sense of identity has been so huge for me. And I've seen so much growth because of that. So we can't neglect to do that internal work on ourselves as well as the external work on our business, because it all comes together to form the whole that people see and people interact with every day.
What would be one lesson that you learned the hard way in business that every single business owner should know?
I think that we can easily get caught up in the day-to-day goings on of running a business, where there's always another thing to do. There's always another project to launch, another client to onboard. You want to put your prices up. You want to launch a new offer. You want to build a new website. You want to update your logo. There's just a never-ending list of things to do, and it can end up feeling like you're running on a treadmill, but you're not actually getting anywhere. But the thing is that what I've realized is, even when I do achieve a big thing that I set out to do, it doesn't actually feel as good as you think it's going to. When you achieve that big goal, you finish that big thing, like, it's really not as good as it is built up to be in your mind. And I think that just comes down to this saying that a lot of people say but don't necessarily embody, is that it's about the journey, it's not about the destination. So if you're choosing to be an entrepreneur, you're doing it because you like the lifestyle that comes with that. You like the feeling of building something of your own. You like the feeling of creating something from scratch or improving on something, of seeing the progress. And those are the things you have to focus on, because if you focus on like reaching a specific milestone, like an amount of revenue or a number of sales, or getting into a certain number of stores or something, it's not going to feel fulfilling. It's not going to be sustainable. It's just going to make you think, why am I doing all of this in the first place? So for me, it's really been about slowing down and enjoying that process of building something and letting it be a work in progress every day. And that's definitely something I would impart on anybody that I'm working with or anyone who's thinking of starting a business.
We have thousands of listeners, and they're all business minded, and some of them actually seniors, very experienced. Some of them they are in the middle of their career journey, and some of them they are just starting the next generation. Do you have any career advice for the next generation that are coming into the job market?
Definitely. When I was entering into the workforce and realizing that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I didn't want to work for anybody else, I was very aware that the people I knew and the relationships I was building was going to be the most critical thing for me, partly because I feel like those are my natural strengths, is how I connect with people and how I understand what other people's needs and how I can help them, but also because I recognize that that's the way that the world works. And I think that one of the challenges with AI coming in and with things being moved to remote work, and with the Gen Zs coming in with maybe less social skills or less experience working with people in the flesh, it's more challenging for people to understand that really people are people, we're social creatures, and we want to hire the person who we feel good about. Like we have feelings about people, we have instincts, we have first impressions that really do count. And if you're just putting in an application or you're just talking about your business online, I don't think it's really going to move the needle all that much. I think it's about genuinely forming relationships with the right kinds of people, strategically but also effectively. And I think that's what I would encourage people to do now, because even without a website, even without an online presence, even without any social proof, you can still have a very successful business. I think all the digital marketing now makes it easier for us to present ourselves professionally. But at the end of the day, you don't actually need that, and you can't rely on that, because that's not really what's going to get the wheels moving. I think that's just there to support you and to make you look more professional and to amplify what you're already doing in how you show up. So, it just comes down to relationship building and looking at people as people and not just numbers or leads or people, things you have to convert into a sale. And I think that's what people are losing, and what is becoming more and more important now, because people want to know that you're real. People want to know you're not an AI generated version of yourself, or that you have an assistant pretending to be you. Like, they actually want to see you. They want to get to know you. And they want to see the human side of you as well. They don't want to, because they see all the generic stuff all the time. It's being generated, but they want to see you. They want to see your flaws, your quirks, what makes you a bit weird and a bit interesting. Like, that's what people want.
Yes, thank you for sharing your professional insights with the next generation business professionals. For those who like to be continuing this conversation with you, who likes to be in touch with you, what is the best way for them to be in touch with you?
Well, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so you can find me on there. My name is Sophie Ash, and the URL ends with Sophie Ash. So if you want to just put /Sophie Ash, you'll find me there. I'm also pretty active on Instagram. I have a couple of accounts. I have my personal account, which is Sophie Ash Official. That's where I post more lifestyle related content and things about me as an entrepreneur with my own lifestyle business. I travel a lot. I bring my cat with me. And I'm always in different parts of the world talking about life and business. I have a business Instagram as well that I'm going to be building out. So if you are in the healthcare field or in academia or you're interested in writing, then check that out. It's Prospology, which is Prospology. And then if you do want to reach out to me directly, you're welcome to email me. My email is sophie@prospology.com.
Sophie, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule, and thank you for sharing your professional
You're
insights
so
with us.
welcome. This was really fun.
Yes, thank you. A pleasure is all mine, and I wish you a great
Thank you,
weekend.
you too, Kevin. Bye.
Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. Thank you. Well, to our listeners and to our audience, I hope you enjoy this episode at the American Business Podcast. It was actually very educational, very informative, and we had Sophie Esch with us, and we learned about how to start a business, the benefits of starting a business, and how actually she built her career, and some of her career lessons that she shared with us. That was very educational in the American Business Podcast episode 78. Well, would you like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast? You can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We keep an open mind, and the American Business Podcast is the voice of American business as well as global business. And we welcome any professional who likes to be sharing his or her professional insights in the American Business Podcast. It's all about sharing the knowledge, sharing the insight, and sharing the professional wisdom. In that sense, we welcome all business professionals who like to be with us. It all just takes an email. You can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. As you know, in recent weeks, we also got and received some lead sponsors. So we truly appreciate our sponsors and advertisers in the American Business Podcast. And if you'd like to join the growing list of sponsors and advertisers in the American Business Podcast, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We also love to hear from you. Your feedback is also important for us. We talk about very popular subjects such as AI, building career journeys, as well as key career lessons. And I'm sure you also have feedback that you'd like to share with us. You can send us an email, and you can also put your comments, your thoughts in the chat box in YouTube as well. We'll really appreciate it, and we'll be happy to hear from you. And if you like us to have a certain guest or a popular subject that you like us to cover in the American Business Podcast, we're also open for any suggestions. And you can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. If you visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, you'll also see our coming streaming schedule. We update it weekly. You can also learn more about the American Business Podcast, and you can also see our previous channels, and you can also get the links of YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Instagram, and all the other social media channels that we are active in. So in that sense, americanpodcast.tv is a very resourceful website that you can always visit and engage, and also you can be more active in the American Business Podcast business community. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, we got the YouTube Silver Award because we have right now more than 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you for your support. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Subscription is easy. I'll just put it on the screen. We have a QR code right here. You can scan this QR code, and it'll take you to our YouTube channel, and you can be part of our community. We truly appreciate it. And if you feel more generous, you can also put your comments, you share your thoughts about one of our episodes. Right now, we are at the episode 78, season 3, and more coming. And you can also see our previous episodes as well, and share your thoughts and let us know what you think. What do you think about AI, regulating AI, and other key career lessons that we've been talking about? These are really popular subjects that we can tell from the number of views and clicks. And if you like to share your thoughts, YouTube and other social media channels are great venues to do so. Okay, well, what else is happening? Let's talk about our sponsors, and let's see if you like to actually join and work with them. Ms. Excel, if you like to learn Excel in a fun and enjoyable way, engaging way, consider Ms. Excel. Ms. Excel has a website, and if you scan this QR code on the screen, it'll take you to their website. You can see their course catalog and you can sign up. When you are checking out, make sure to put the discount code for the American Business Podcast viewers, ABP 2025, and it'll give you additional benefits when you are checking out, and you can enjoy the discount. If you're in the market for an ERP software system, especially you can consider iTech Inc. They are specialized in SAP ERP, Oracle ERP, and Microsoft ERP software systems, and they have their own in-house teams for implementation and support. I have their QR code on the screen. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you to their website, and you can learn more about their activities, and you can get in touch with them if you're interested. When you are in touch with them, make sure that you hear about them from the American Business Podcast. Today, we had the Connection America Business Alliance online networking event. We had 6 professionals with us, and live on the American Business Podcast this morning, we had a chance to have the business networking event. We learned about the 6 different businesses. Also, we got questions from our audience, and they shared their professional insights. They told us about their business. They shared important information about their business, their products and services. So it was a very engaging event. If you like to register for the coming Connection America Business Alliance online business network event, you can scan this QR code and you can register. The next one is scheduled for October 24th at 10 a.m. Eastern. And I hope you join us. And this activity is also growing. The reason we put together the Connection America is in the American Business Podcast, we have experts, we have interviews, and we talk about different subjects, different informative subjects. And in the Connection America Business Alliance, we like to turn this knowledge into action by networking with other business professionals. In that sense, you are invited. I hope you join us. Please scan the QR code and register, and hope to see you on October 24th. Recently, we started our membership program, American Business Podcast ABP membership program, and we have different membership types, different benefits of each type. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you to the membership page. You can see different types of memberships that's available. You can pick the one that you like, and you can be a member, and you can enjoy the benefits of membership, ABP membership, and we really appreciate your support. Well, looks like that's all for today. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. This is the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. I'm looking forward to having you in the next The American Business Podcast episodes. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.